on. Hello. Let's get a different camera view here, right? There you go. All right. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Look at that light. All right. There you go. That's better. All right. How are you? South Dakota. I didn't know you lived out there. Let's see. Let me get these photos in here. And we are going to be looking at hands today, especially hands holding an object. Okay, so let's get right into this here. We'll start with this guy right there. So when it comes to drawing hands, I have an approach I like to take. And first thing you want to do is quickly put in a gesture, and then you come back and draw on top of that gesture, okay? And so when I draw hands, these are the parts and in order that I'm looking for, okay? So I will usually start off with the palm. Then I will look for the tips of the fingers. Then I look for the joints. And then I look for the knuckles. Okay? Then I look for the knuckles. And then I come back in and add the detail. Once I have all those established, then I come in, okay? One thing with drawing hands, and this is something to remember, is that you always have on the finger there. Boy, you know, this camera. All right, let's see, does that help a little bit? No, it doesn't. Boy, I'll have to get a different light in here. All right. You're just gonna have to see me in the dark right now. I hope that's okay. So, usually on the fingers and hands, you have just remember this one idea. You have a hard side. This is the hard side. This is where the bone is. And then you have the soft side, and the interior of a hand is always soft. So that's one thing to always keep in mind, all right? So if drawing a finger, you would have 1, 2, 3. That would be the back side. And then we kind of have a J hook. And then you have your pads underneath, okay? We'll move him up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. And then one other thing I wanted to say is when you also are drawing hands, if there is an object involved, I like to draw that object first before I draw my hand holding it. This gives me an idea of where the hand is going to go. So let's go ahead and start off with this idea. And let's start off with that cup there, all right? So we're gonna just start off with this mug. Keep it light. All right. Okay, so let's kind of lightly gesture this, all right? So I will gesture each part for you, and then you could follow along, all right? So I'm gonna go through my palm, all right? So I'm just gonna come up here. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, something like that. All right, there's the tip right about there. Look, I'm looking at the mug there. There's one finger, all right? All right, another one's coming here like this. These guys down here. And I got a small one right there. And I've got my thumb back here. See, that's a real quick gesture. Arm is coming down here. All right, and I'll pause. I'll pause right now for you to grab that idea. All right, let's draw the other one now. All right, so again, we're going to start with the palm. Palm's coming out here like this. All right, tips. I can't really see the tips per se, so, but we can kind of gesture the fingers. There's one right there. There's another one coming in here. There's that one there, and then this kind of turns in there a bit. And then there's the other arm coming in. Just remember this. If a lot of times in drawing, if you come up with a mantra that you follow over and over and over again, it really makes a huge difference. Okay, let's go ahead then and start to work out this hand here, right? So first thing we want to look at is when we're drawing the palm in more detail here, you kind of want to, the easiest way I could think of is if you just take the idea of a square, a block like this, okay? So if I look at this hand here in the picture, what I see is kind of something like this. You see, there's my palm. Let's look at our drawing now and kind of get that idea down, all right? Okay, next on my list is finding the tips. And I mean the tips of the fingers and their relationship to each other. You see those right there? All right, so let's take a look here. And so we're gonna have a tip right there. Okay, this tip is gonna go beyond the mug just a bit. Tip's gonna be right there. And then we get our last one right there. Okay, joints are next. So in the finger, we actually have two joints, so you have to be aware of that. But let's start with what this set of joints right here in our picture, right? So we have one right there. Here's another one. There and there. You see that? A lot of times, you know, the hand is round, so it will always be, there will always be somewhat of a curve to it. All right. So let's see here. Let's come over here, and we're just gonna lightly mark that. Look at the other one now. The other one's almost like you're looking at constellations in a sky. Now let's look at our second set of joints. There's one there, here, here, and one right in there. So we got that, that. Okay, and then last is our knuckles. And they're going to be coming around here like this. Okay, so the palm is kind of a square. We've got the outside of the fingers are always hard, the inside soft. And then one last little tip I want to give you here is if you look to see what finger is closest to you, draw that. It'll be easier to draw those behind it. All right, so let's start with, in this hand, let's start with this, the middle finger here. And it's going to be here, and we're going to just start with a straight line there, looking at my picture. Straight line there. Right to the tip. All right, let's go back here to the base now. All right, so it's gonna be something like this. A little bit of an overlap there. All right, come over here now. Let's get this one straight. Okay. All right, let's come in here now. This guy's going to be straight right there. Straight. And this is going to be foreshortened a little bit. That's the pad. Okay, pinky now. All right. There's the pad of the palm. Now we drop in our knuckles. All right, let's get this thumb in back here. So same thing with the thumb. Thumb has a hard back edge there. And then the soft on the inside. All right, let's work on the other one now. All right, so let's go through our list here. So our palm is going to be covered up with our fingers, so that's obvious. Our tips, the only one you could see really is this guy down here, the pinky. But then the knuckles, we got plenty of knuckles here to work with. So let's start with the middle knuckle. It's gonna be right there. You see that? Let me show you. It's right there. And the top one is going to be right there. Okay. Can't really see the front joint. So let's come back here down to the knuckles, okay? So this knuckle is going to be right here. Next one is going to be much higher. You see that? A little bit lower. Okay, let's finish these fingers now. So we're going to come like that. And the edge of the pinky is coming around like that. And I'll pause for a minute while you get those in place. Now, because those are folding over, let's add a little bit of tone to them. And I just want to add tone to this side here so we can see it kind of turn the corner there. All right, and then the last thing is she has her thumb showing right over the brim of the mug here. I'm just kind of finishing off these arms here. All right. Let's try the next one, okay? All right, so remember, we're going to start with a gesture. We're going to go palm, tips, joints, knuckles. All right, so let's get this object in first. Teacup there. All right, let's go ahead and gesture this. So once again, I'll go slowly. You could follow my lead if you like. Palm. Tip there. Now this tip is going to be way down here. Tip, tip, and you can't see that pinky. Joints. We've got, let's see here now. Got this one here, this one there. These are just going to follow right along. Let me highlight them for you. Tips. You can't see they're down below, but then we've got this, this. Those are our joints. Okay. Let's start with the middle one here. Okay. Okay, we're going to come across here. I'm going to get this pinky first before I finish that one. Okay, knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. This little, the ulna on the wrist. Ulna is going to be right there. All right, let's go ahead and look at the other one now. Okay, palms first. Tips. There's a tip right there. And then these tips are all coming together here. Okay, knuckles. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay, this one's going back and it goes right into the knuckle. This one is going back into the knuckle as well. Okay, then we've got the last one up here. Sometimes when I'm drawing these fingers, you know, I'm thinking a lot of times of like cylinders. Then if you kind of envision a cylinder, it gets a little bit easier to then draw the fingernail, because you really start thinking of this going around, you see? Okay. Let's sharpen this cup up, just this teacup a little bit. All right. Okay, so there are 2 different hands for you. That's the process of drawing hands. You want to think of gesture, and you want to try and draw the palm, the tips, the joints, and the knuckles. I hope that helps, and that's what we got for today. So, Cindy, I appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, post your work in Facebook or in our community tab, and I will take a look at it. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye-bye.